This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my counterpart, halfway across the world, the Prime Ooze, Tim Hendricks. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Today, we do these things without a referee, so they don't bet on our games because it would probably be bad. And I don't know if Vegas would put odds on it, but we're doing one. I think this is a new one. I think we've kind of tiptoed around this in a way, but we've never really done this type of category.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we kind of tiptoed, but belated Happy Father's Day to everybody, especially you. You posted your picture of your dad. I know you miss him. I miss him too. So hope everybody had a good Father's Day. So yeah, our topic today is sports related. So we are picking players in their prime. If we could bring them back and pair them up with their current team, I guess is how we'll do it. So the example I pulled out, and I know I didn't use it, but I know Tim was thinking about it, is bring back Michael Jordan, put him with the Bulls. How would that turn out? Especially in today's game and stuff like that. So with that being said, let's go to a sport we don't cover much because me and Tim don't watch it too much, and that's the NHL. So
horse racing. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, horse racing. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
So, all right. So NHL. So I know I doubled up on one. So
I like I said in the back, I doubled up on two and tripled up on one. So
yeah. So I think we're gonna hit pretty good. I'm gonna go 4 off the bat here.
For the right people or four spots?
It's gonna be people. We're not gonna go. I mean, we might get one if we're going spots. I know what you mean. No, forget it. But I think my 1-2 we should have the same. So
1-2. Oof.
So go ahead, kick it off.
All right. I know Mess Around's a big Blackhawks fan, and I think he would agree with me. Especially we're talking about people who we're talking about them in their prime, and I remember watching these guys in their prime, and they were scary. I think this is one of the only times I think I've got 2 goalies on this list, and one of the goalie one is at this spot here. I think the other 2 really brought a lot out. They were if you were ever to talk about who the Blackhawks names are, the two of my 3 would come out right away. This is my triple up. I've got Ed Balfour at goalie, Jeremy Roenick and Chris Chelios all back on the Blackhawks. I think it would make an unstoppable team. I think they win a lot more than what they did this year. They were scary when they were all on the same team at the same time. It's enough.
Yeah. Well, at my number 5, I do have a goalie. The old goalie I have on here. Patrick Waugh. I think I just like to see him back in the net. in his prime right now with the I forgot to write down his team.
The Avalanche.
Yeah, Avalanche. Yeah, we'll throw him up there. So
we'll throw the Avalanche up there. Why not? But yeah, I like that. This is one of my double ups. My brother would absolutely live and die by this. If he's watching, he's a big Red Wings fan. I am not. I can understand it, but because Wisconsin doesn't have a team, and I don't think any God-fearing Wisconsinite would ever pick a Chicago team to root for. I think it's like an allergic reaction. That's why I'm a Penguins fan. I kind of stayed out of the Midwest. But to have these two players on the Red Wings now, it would be absolutely stupid to watch. No, I didn't put Sergei Fedorov on. I could have, and I just now thought of him. That makes it even worse. But to put one of the goats, one of the Red Wings. Actually, these guys are both Red Wing goats. But one of them is a Mount Rushmore guy, and the other guy is just, when you think of Detroit, you think of this guy as well. Stevie Yzerman and Gordie Howe.
Yeah, that would be a killer combo there. My number 4, I know he played with the for a little bit, but I didn't put him with the great one on this team. But at number 4, Mark Messier.
Which one? Which team?
Rangers.
Oh, you went the Rangers. Oh,
yeah.
You went the Rangers. Oh no, aren't they already in the Stanley Cup? Do they need help?
Well, exactly. I mean, could they be more unstoppable? So, you're number 3.
Well, my number 3, we're going to start it early. Hopefully we're going to start it early. We're going to start it often. It's the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 3 is your number 5. When you brought this up, this was one of those guys, because I think I can't remember who else is in the Stanley Cup. Is the Avalanche in the Stanley Cup?
No, it's the Florida Panthers.
The Panthers and the Rangers?
Yeah, I think it's the Rangers.
But
see how well we watch hockey?
You can tell how much. And I'm only there if I can watch the Penguins at this point. But yeah, I thought of Waugh being with the Avalanche, and I thought that it just seemed almost right.
Yeah. God dang it. I just got looked at who's in the NHL finals. Oilers.
The who?
Edmonton.
Are you? Oh my gosh!
Yeah. See,
my number 1's going to make this going to be really, really weird. Then.
All right. Well, my number 3 is going to be weird because I was trying to think. Your hockey team, and for some reason I couldn't remember who it was.
The Penguins.
So my number 3, I got a double up here. Mario Lemieux and Yager with the current Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, you kind of sniped me for mine later. Because I didn't put my team up here again. And
no, I didn't I wasn't going to put your team, but I could not recall what your team was. But once you said that, I'm like, oh, there goes one. So you're number 2.
My number 2. I forgot. I just had to look up to remember if the great one played for this team as well as my. I could have at least put this. I could have put the great one on like 19 freaking teams by the looks of it. And I can't remember if Messier played in St. Louis either. But to put Brett Hull back onto the St. Louis Blues, I think would be huge for St. Louis, but huge for that team because they need a little bit more help.
Yeah, I forgot about him. No, he did not play for the Blues.
No.
All right, my number 2. We're going to do the phrase that pays once again. If you're not watching, or if you're not C2C, you're not sniping. I got Gordie Howe at number 2. So you're number one.
Well, I'm gonna save us in a way. You put them on the Rangers. I put them on the Oilers. I, this was the obvious one to me, and you like I said, so it's kind of half sniping, but you like I said, you put them on the Rangers. And I thought this if Edmonton could have them back, holy hell, Edmonton would be scary because I think don't they have Connor McDavid in Edmonton too?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's the superstar
Holy
right
smokes! Can you see that team? Could you see
now.
that team with that line with Connor McDavid? I better make sure I get that right before I open my mouth a little too wide. But if I'm right, Connor McDavid. I think Connor McDavid's. Yep, Connor McDavid. You put Connor McDavid. You put Connor McDavid with Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier, and it's absolutely sick. The series would be over. They would have given the Oilers 3 wins just before game 1.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going Messier and
Gretzky and the Oilers.
Yep. Well, I have Gretzky. I mean, it was tough to pick because you had the Kings, you had the Oilers. I mean, like you said, Gretzky could have been on any team, but yeah, him on the Edmonton Oilers in his prime with Messier, the team that got now. Yeah, you're right. I mean, maybe they're even talking.
We're talking dynasty
record. Best record. I mean, so all right. So we ended up getting 4 the roundabout way.
Yeah.
So all right, let's move on to the hardcourt, the NBA Finals. Congratulations to those fans in Boston for their 18th championship.
Just so you know, I didn't put a Boston guy because they don't need any at this point.
Yeah, but with the way the game's changed, I mean, some of those guys, that's kind of what I went with for the NBA, right. Just the way the game has changed. But yeah, Boston doesn't need nobody. But all right, I'm going to go on I'm going to go 1. I'm going to go 1 because there's a lot of, and no, I did not. I don't know if Tim did, but I did not add Jordan.
No,
because that was obvious.
No. I almost did. I almost wanted to be the smart ass and put him on the Wizards, but then I realized that the Wizards have nobody to begin with. So at this point, it would be just it'd just be Michael Jordan and John Wall.
Exactly. So how many going? I'm going 1.
I doubled up twice.
Ooh.
I could see 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see 2.
All right. Yeah. So I get to kick it off here. My number 5. I know we brought this player up. Well, actually, we probably brought them both up at one point over the year and a half we've done these shows. I know we brought up half of my number 1.
Your number 5?
Or my number 5. Yeah, half of my 5. My first one. All right. So I'm going with the Warriors. I'm going to go with Chris Mullin and Chris Webber.
I thought of that one. Then I thought, who else did I think of?
I think Mullin would fit well with them with his shooting. Webber, I know the game doesn't go inside much, so it would be kind of interesting to see how Webber's career would have panned out if we could put him with this day and age basketball.
Right.
Your number 5.
My number 5, I went the route of the 76ers. I really thought hard, and the moment I said the word 76ers and I realized I left 3 people off that I could have put on. And what I think the 76ers are missing is rebounding because of this day the game the game this day and age is a whole lot different than when the my number 5 was playing, and he wouldn't have gotten so beat up. He wouldn't have had to been so physical, but he was always physical. And my number 5 is the power forward from Auburn, Charles Barkley.
Yeah. You went that way. I thought you were going to go AI there for a second.
That's when I realized I said 76ers. I'm like, oh god, I could have went AI. I could have went AI with Joel Embiid.
Barkley on a couple teams currently would be.
I could have used Julius. I could use Julius Irving. I'm like,
Yep.
oh,
so my number 4, I know they were just in the finals, but they got beat up thanks to the Timberwolves probably just running them all over the court. But I'm going to go Dirk Nowitzki on this year's Mavs team in his prime. I mean, that front court with him and Luka and
Luka.
Yeah.
He put Sean Bradley on that team, and him and Luka.
Sean Bradley, I don't think Sean Bradley was just good because the guy was like 20 feet tall. I mean,
that helps. Believe me, I know it does, but and there's nobody banging off him. That's why Wemby is going to be so good because there's no muscle being pushed onto Wemby.
Wemby's got to put some muscle on him.
No, Wemby's got to do what Giannis did in his first 2 years because Giannis put on like 30 pounds of muscle because Giannis was as small as Wemby.
But he can't. I think Wemby. I'm not a big basketball guy, but I think Wemby just has to put it on slowly. He can't go from a stick figure to Superman. He just got to put it on and grow into it.
He can't do the Barry Bonds, Bonds transformation.
All right, your number 4.
My number 4. I was shocked to see the Knicks do as well as they did.
Yep.
I think they were missing another team. I think that was missing a presence inside. I think they would push them to the next level. I think they would have been a little more tougher. Because I think they lost to Boston, didn't they?
Yeah.
They would have been a little more. They would have been a little more ready for Boston. And the guy, and again, we're talking about no physicality down deep again, and I was lucky enough to see him coach the centers in Orlando. I've actually got a picture of him standing next to Dwight Howard, so it's kind of unreal. My number 4 is Patrick Ewing going to the Knicks.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. My number 3, you talk about guys in the middle that, since there's not much banging, I think this guy would, again, just dominate and probably change the game back to being physical in the middle. I'm putting him on the Heat, though, and that's Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. You're number 3.
My number 3. Well, it seems like I tend to be the early one sniping again. You're the one sniping and doing early. I believe you. My number 3 is your number 5, Dirk Nowitzki.
Well, that was number 4.
Number 4. I would have made a whole bigger argument if Dirk had actually played a game in Milwaukee because I'd have put him on Milwaukee with Giannis.
Oh yeah.
But I kind of set my own parameters that you actually had to play at least one game.
Yeah.
With the team you were.
Yeah, you had to play a couple.
So yeah, I thought you put him with Luka.
The Greek.
You put Dirk with Luka, and you could have put him with Steve, and Steve Nash with Luka, or Jason Kidd with Luka. Yeah. Jason Kidd, Luka, and Dirk. That's a scary team.
Yeah. My number 2, with this day and age, I would love to see this guy be playing, shooting his threes all over the place for Indiana Pacers, Reggie Miller.
Yeah, I think it would be scary because I think again, and his shot was such a smooth stroke too. It's a lot like where Seth's is a smooth stroke, and it was just scary to watch.
Seth is just his stroke is all over the place. I mean, he doesn't care to.
Yeah, he doesn't care where he's shooting from.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you're number 2.
Well, half of this is the phrase that pays, except you have him on the Heat. I thought of this and I thought you put my 2 because I doubled up on this. Heck, at this point you can have Austin Reeves as your point guard.
Yeah.
You could have my 2A as your shooting. You put You put LeBron at the small forward. You put Anthony Davis at the power forward,
Yep.
and then you put my number, and then you put my 2B as the center. And I guarantee you, we're looking at 82-0. You can easily look at 82-0.
You put I mean, you're talking Kobe and Shaq, obviously.
I'm talking Kobe and Shaq. I'm talking Kobe and Shaq back on the Lakers.
And the thing is, we could have did this just all Lakers. I mean,
yeah,
put but even not so much even a current LeBron or in his prime LeBron,
and
but
now
even,
LeBron,
even a now LeBron. But I mean, could you see just a prime LeBron or even a young, a couple years into the league LeBron? I mean, when he went to the Heat or something,
right?
With Kobe and Shaq. Oh yeah, you're talking. I mean,
82-0. You're looking at undefeated.
I mean, the thing is too. Kobe's not taking a day off. Shaq's not taking a day off. I mean,
and at that point, and you got Kobe and Shaq both not wanting to take a day off. And what's that going to do? It's going to make sure that Davis doesn't take a day off. It means LeBron's not going to take a day off. And Austin Reeves, as much as I like the bag on the guy, that kid doesn't take a day off either.
Yeah. So my number one, I know, you kind of alluded that you didn't have a Celtic on there. I do, because again, just like Reggie Miller, I'd like to see this guy just shoot all day from the back because he had a nice stroke too, and that's Larry Bird. You talk about Kerr, rewriting the history book on 3 points. I mean, you put those guys in today's game,
right?
You're number one.
Well, we didn't put Michael Jordan back on the Bulls, but I did put a couple people back on the Bulls, and I think
Bill Cartwright.
Oh God, no. And we were talking prime, and this is I honestly think that's one thing that Jimmy Butler's missing is that presence. I put a prime Derrick Rose, and I put prime Scottie Pippen back on the Bulls.
Ooh. Derrick Rose and Pippen. I thought about putting Pippen on there, but yeah, you put Derrick Rose and those guys, Levine. I mean, they're yeah, that's nice. So yeah, we got two. Getting a roundabout way. All right, so let's go to the gridiron. Let's go to the NFL.
Okay.
This one's another one that could have gone. We either could hit it big or we're gonna go for. So
I doubled up on 2 spots.
I didn't double up any. So I'm gonna go 1. I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna be.
You didn't double up on me, but I have this feeling of 3. I have this really weird feeling of 3.
Like I said, if we go, you said you doubled up, but we're kind of talking it back. I'm kind of interested to see who that double up is. So, but you go ahead, kick it off.
All right. So we know Al Davis has this thing about being showed that I think the reason why he liked the fact is that he went to LA because he wanted to be the Showtime type
Yep.
like the Lakers, and that's why he always liked to draft fast. He had this he always liked to draft fast, and he always took chances. He always took flyers, considering he took Sebastian Janikowski in the first round.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
High too, wasn't it?
It was high. I think it was mid first or something like that.
Yeah.
James will tell us if we're wrong. But now you put him in Las Vegas, and I think truthfully what I consider the original Thunder and Lightning back into Vegas. You don't really need a line at this point with these two guys, and because you just don't know what you just don't know what to do. What do they got? Aiden O'Connell now is their quarterback. I know
awesome.
they've got Gardner Minshew, and
yeah.
But I think if you put Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen in the backfield in Las Vegas, they don't need a line. They catch out of the back. They'll make the playoffs. It's the things that's going to hurt them is probably the defense at that point. But yeah, my number 5 is Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen.
Oh, I like that combo. That is a good combo. My number 5, with the way the teams are passing nowadays, I think this guy would just rewrite all history books with the weapons that his current team would have, and that is one Miami Dolphins quarterback, Dan Marino.
Like I said, I have a feeling you're going to hit 3. Because
I just with Hill and Waddle and
Achan, and it's
that defense ain't that bad either. I mean,
no,
you put Marino back there. I mean, maybe you're talking a perfect season going into the playoffs. Maybe. I mean, but
I thought of that, but my number 1 will definitely give me a perfect season.
Oh yeah. So
my number 1 is a perfect season.
You're number 4.
My number 4. We saw last year how much of a surprise the Houston Texans defense was last year. You added Willie Anderson and the like. They came in, they beat the Colts for the division, which again, both those 2 teams were shocking to be playing for the division on the last week of the season. But I think you put this defensive end opposite of Will Anderson. I think we're looking at we're talking top 5 defense. We may be talking one of the best of all time if you add this guy back in. To see him go play in Arizona was kind of felt like I was a punch in the stomach. But my number 4 is JJ Watt back on the Houston Texans.
Ooh. Yeah, especially who they loaded up with this year with Hunter.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about that one. My number 2, again, we're going to go real old school on this one. He's got rings, but what could he do with the teams that he has now, or the team that they have now? The weapons, not desirable, but who knows? But I'd like to see Terry Bradshaw quarterback in the Steelers.
Oh my gosh! I thought about Terry. I think I like Terry, and I'm going to get hate for this one, but I think Terry was a system quarterback. I know he called his own plays. I know he called his own plays, and Chuck Noll really left it to his own devices, but he could be a little schizophrenic sometimes.
Exactly.
He sometimes he reminded me like of a young Brett Favre.
Yep.
In some of the things he does, but that's not a bad one, really.
No, it's not. You're number 3.
Well, you did it to me again. It's the phrase that pays, and I legitimately thought of A-Chain, whatever that kid's name is. We need an official ruling on his name one of these days. But with Waddle and Hill, the first thing I thought of was Waddle and Hill. I'm like, God, this team is going to be. We're talking about these in the same breath as the New England Patriots at this point, and I thought of Dan Marino right away.
Yep. All right, my number 3. I know he bounced around a couple different teams, but I'm going to put him on the Dallas Cowboys defense, with Parsons and Diggs.
That's gonna hurt my stomach.
I don't know how you would throw on this team, and that's one Deion Sanders. I mean, that defense is scary now. You put Deion back there in his prime.
The San Francisco Deion and the Dallas Deion, not the Atlanta Deion. I just, for some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, you could have put him on San Fran's D too. I mean, but I think it'd be more scary on Dallas's D. We might be talking about a Super Bowl here since '95. So
since the last time Deion was on the team.
Yeah, exactly. You're number 3.
My number 2. My number 2. I think we always wondered what happens if my number 2 had actually ran behind a line. Now Detroit has one. We wouldn't have gotten 9-year career out of him. We would have gotten a 14-year career. We'd be in the middle of his career. And we might be more rushing titles than he has. We might be actually talking about Super Bowl championships at this point. I almost doubled up. I almost added somebody else on this list and thought better of it. I like Megatron, but I think more people would rather have this guy on their team because Detroit is pretty stacked at wide receivers. Don't get me wrong. I like Megatron, but if you put Barry Sanders back on the Detroit Lions right now, I think we're talking Detroit as Super Bowl favorites for here until retirement.
And that's sad. I mean, a lot of people don't like golf, and you put Barry on there with golf and the receivers they got. I mean, I know they got Gibbs now too, but yeah, that was the first person I thought of too. The phrase that pays at number 2. Why is it not popping up for me?
I got it. I see it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
All
right. There it is. A little delay. All right. So, but yeah, I got Barry Sanders. With that, I mean, you're talking rushing titles. You're talking, possibly
MVPs.
all-time rushing leader.
We're talking MVPs. We're talking.
Oh yeah. We're talking.
Yeah, it's scary, sick.
Yeah. All right, you're number 1.
Well, everybody in San Francisco is saying they're one person away, and they think that Brock Purdy will get there. Don't worry, Isaiah. Brock Purdy will get there because I have faith in Brock too. Considering that
Brock his rookie year.
Yeah. Considering both this is how much Kool-Aid I drank that year because Isaiah and I both picked Brock to start in his rookie year, and I'm like, okay,
you were close. I think you're I
was a half game off. I was a half game off because he came in halftime of that one game.
Yeah.
That's scary is when Isaiah and I are drinking the same Kool-Aid. But I doubled up here. It's only logical to double up. You put my number 1 at quarterback, and you put my number 1A at opposite wide receiver of Brandon Ayuk or a Deebo Samuel. we're talking 8.
Well, you're talking about Drake Viper's favorite San Francisco quarterback. Okay,
that's right. I am the San Francisco treat himself, Rice-A-Roni. But we're talking Destiny. We're talking Destiny Dynasty. We the 3Ds. I don't care at this point. And you can have the worst defense in the league. Problem is San Francisco's got the top 5 defense in the league. And if we were to add Dion to that defense, we're talking top 2 in the league. But my number 1 and 1A is Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Hell, I could have put Steve Young as the backup, and I'd have still looked awesome.
Yeah, with Brock Purdy being number 3.
Practice squad.
Yeah. But the phrase that pays, I got Jerry Rice at number 1. I mean, we talk about system quarterbacks. Yeah, Purdy's in the right system right now, and who knows? I'd run with Purdy with Rice and Ayuk and McCaffrey and Deebo and the offensive line they got and the defense. I don't think you go wrong there. You bring Montana back. I mean, you could have brought Montana in with this team and see what he's got.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we got 3. A little bit better.
Like I said, I feel 3. I don't know why I said I feel 3, but I feel 3.
Yeah, I was kind of figuring we'd hit the Rice one. Barry, I thought too. I'm like, well, maybe he's going a different route. I didn't think he'd get Marino. I didn't think he'd do Marino.
I thought Marino. The moment I'm like, I had to think about today's rosters, and I'm thinking, gosh.
I know that was the hard part. Is thinking about today where you want to put them. All right,
today's rosters, and I'm like, who do I want to put? I'm like, Marino easily in Miami. We're talking 72. The 72 Dolphins are going to be worried about the 2024 Dolphins.
Yeah, that's the case. Exactly. So, all right. So let's go into the diamond. Let's go to baseball. This one, I tripled up on one. I know you said
I tripled up and quadrupled up.
Yeah. It'll be interesting there. I'm going to go. God, did we hit the same triple up though?
Exactly, right?
I'm going to go 3 because if we did hit the same triple up, I don't know. I'll go 3.
You're going to go 3. I think we hit the triple up. I honestly think we may have hit the triple up.
Okay.
I'm kind of that weird. I'm kind of that way.
Well, if we hit the triple, you're gonna go buy whatever lottery ticket you got over there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've got some. That's the weird thing. Yeah, I think we hit our triple up.
Okay.
I've got a kind of a curveball too.
Ooh. Okay. All right. So this day and age, I mean, this team's. I'm at 5. Put this guy's back.
Am I first? Yeah, you're first because
Yeah,
it's an even. It's the evil.
Yep.
Even.
All right. So put this guy in the middle of this lineup right now. You're talking probably home run records falling. You're talking probably most run scores falling. Heck, you're probably talking about a lot of, you might hit, each person might hit 50 home runs. They might all be solo shots because everybody's just trotting around the bases. But as much as I hate the team, you put Babe Ruth in the middle of that Yankees lineup with Judd, Stanton, and whoever else they got. And then heck, we're talking prime. You throw him on the bench or on the mound, let him throw a few. Now we're talking the competition between Ohtani and Babe Ruth on who's the greatest. So, yeah, I got 5. I got Babe Ruth.
Mine is my number 5 is my quadruple up.
Okay.
And believe me, there are 2 guys in on our staff that would be very happy to have these 4 guys. They wouldn't be looking up at the Phillies in the standings. They would be, what are they, 8 games back? No, yeah, they're 8 games back in the National League East. But I don't think J-Mac and I don't think Ace are going to argue if I were to tell you if you could have prime Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, and Steve Avery on the mound in your pitching rotation and the Atlanta Braves, don't tell me you're not the favorite to win the World Series.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with that Braves team now, I mean, even you throw in Chipper Jones, Fred McGriff, I mean, Dion.
Dion.
Get him on the base
Dion and Brian Jordan. You can put Brian Jordan on that back on that team.
Yeah, exactly. My number 4, this, probably one of the sweetest swings of baseball. I had a tough time not putting them on the Mariners.
We're gonna miss our triple up. I almost guarantee you right now we're missing a triple up at this point.
My number 4, I put them on the Reds.
Missed the triple up. Put them on the Reds.
I have Ken Griffey Jr. on the Reds.
Oh wow! Yeah, I can see that. Put him with Dela Cruz.
And yeah. No, a healthy prime Ken Griffey Jr. I mean,
Joey Votto would have taken the league minimum to come back to play for the Reds instead of going away.
God, a lot of those guys, I mean, would have. And then again, too, I mean, Dion's played over there. Could you see Dion and Griffey in the same outfield?
Yeah.
How much ground they could cover? I mean,
you're playing 5 infielders at that point.
You probably could.
You probably could.
So you're number 3.
My number 4.
Number 4. That's
well,
right,
everybody remembers the New York Giants version of this player, and they always remember the San Francisco Giants version of this player. But I figured, why not? Let's put somebody who played with the Mets system, in the Mets and in New York. And I know it looks ugly when you see him in those jerseys because all you ever thought about was him in the Giants, and I'm thinking, God. And I've seen the card of him in a Mets jersey, and I'm going, golly, that's ugly and that's retarded looking. That is so terrible. But to put him on the Mets now with Pedro Alonso, oh my gosh, that would be sick. You put Pedro Alonso hitting behind him, behind the Say Hey kid, and you go, oh man, that's scary. I put Willie Mays on the Mets.
Yeah, that's a good one. That you talk about seeing images of people in different uniforms that look sick. As much as I didn't grow up as a Harmon Killebrew fan, but seeing him don the Royals jerseys just looked awful.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
It was so ugly.
It is. All right. So my number 3, the phrase that pays is in a play.
Ooh.
And I did triple up on the Atlanta Braves. I always forget Steve Avery's a part of that roster, but again, you nailed it. Any Braves fan, J-Mac and Ace, you give me Maddox, Smoltz, Glavin. Yeah, heck, you go Avery, you can go Freeze, you can go whoever. Yeah, you're talking Braves are going to be dynamite. Now, are they going to do it in the playoffs? Who knows? But that's a trio that should have more rings than what they.
Yeah, and the problem is with the Braves of the '90s, it wasn't the defense, it was the offense. The offense never seemed to put up enough,
Exactly.
and it's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Acuña's is out now, but still, you give me that Braves team now with those 3 pitchers, and you throw in Avery as your number 4, and then you throw in whoever
Chipper, Andrew.
5. I mean,
you put Chipper, Andrew,
you Will Smith back as their closer, and
yeah,
you got a World Series team. So
right.
All right, you're number 3.
So the phrase that pays is a little in play.
A little in play, okay.
Very little in play. Like you said, when Ken Griffey Jr. had the sweetest swing, but I also remember that he played for another team.
Yep.
You had him. You brought up the Mariners. You brought up the Reds, but you forgot about the White Sox.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, huh?
Really? You're going to put them there?
But with the other 2 that I put, because this is a triple up.
Okay. All right.
And to think about this, you bat them 2, 3, 4. Actually, you always remember, everybody keeps forgetting that my number 2 of my number 3 was actually a leadoff hitter in an all-star game, which was kind of scary. So you put my number 2, my 3. Okay, at this point, explaining it is a little more difficult.
Yeah.
If you put Bo Jackson at number 2, you put Ken Griffey at number 3, and then you put Frank Thomas at number 4.
Oh, you're bringing Bo back. Okay.
I'm bringing Bo, Frank, and Ken Griffey Jr. all back to the White Sox. And we're not talking about the White Sox, having a 300 percentage? Having you sell tickets, I'll guarantee you that, but it's going to be fireworks in Comiskey.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee it.
That's good. Yeah. So I'm going to go with, I guess if you got an award named after you, you probably should be back in the league. You should be playing. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Guardians. I'm going to go with, granted, he's now played for the Spiders and the Indians, and now he can play for the Guardians. Bring Cy Young back and put him in the Cleveland. One, how is he going to pitch? And, are we talking him being, the award? So,
oh man, I forgot all about Cy Young. At this point, let's put Ty Cobb on Detroit.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, we could have won a lot of places. So you're number 2.
Honus Wagner back with the Pirates. Wow, I've since you brought this up to me. What was it? Saturday while I was on vacation. I honestly, this was like the first one of the. You brought up baseball, and I'm like, I have now officially solved the Oakland A's problem.
Bring everybody back.
Putting butts in the seats, and I really think this would have done it. But I think, and when you said prime, I'm like, there was no. There to me, I thought briefly for Jose Canseco. I thought briefly of Mark McGwire, and then I thought of the only guy who's nicknamed after a month. And thought this is going to be the easiest little pick in my world. I picked Reggie Jackson to put back on the A's
over Henderson.
I think I like Jack. As much as I hate the guy as a person, to me, I think Reggie is far and above, to me, better than Ricky Henderson. They're both ego-driven fools. They're both ego-driven fools.
Even Reggie back in the Yankees lineup.
Yeah.
So
Pete Rose back on the Reds.
Yeah. So my number 1, I forgot him once, but I don't think I'll ever forget him again when we talk baseball. I'm, especially with the, the day and age of how teams align when people are just pull hitters. I don't know how you would align up this guy because this guy can kill you many different ways. And if he doesn't get a hit, he probably you could take it deep or off the wall. I'm gonna go Tony Gwynn on the Padres.
The Pirates, that'd be Pirates would love him.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of teams would. But yeah, Tony Gwynn on this year's current roster for the Padres.
That's good. That's really, I didn't even think about it. I see we're making colleagues of ours really, really happy.
Oh, yeah.
We
haven't got to our teams yet.
I gave the Braves three or four of their best pitchers back on their staff.
Yep.
You've done the same. I've gone around and helped mess around, put three guys back on the White Sox. I've even helped Isaiah by putting Reggie Jackson on these.
Hey, what's up, Jason? You just missed our Braves talk there.
But I'm going to my number one, and you helped Callan out with the Padres.
Yep.
So it seems like we're missing one person. We haven't kind of brought him up, and that's Bacon. And my number one is going to help Bacon repeat. When you consider the guy is considered probably one of the greatest pitchers in history, and he played for the Rangers, I'm putting him back on the list. And you don't have to worry about half your pitching staff get hurt because this guy will punch Robin Ventura in the face and still throw pitches. I put the Rhine Express back on the Rangers.
Yeah, and the thing is you said it. We consider him one of the greatest pitchers, but yet
no Cy Young.
But he doesn't have no Cy Youngs.
There's no Cy Youngs.
I know. So J-Mac, if you're still watching, we're doing if we could take players from their prime, put them on their current teams. Me and Tim did you guys a favor. I want to get your opinion on it because you're Braves fans. We gave you guys Maddox, Maltz, and Glavine on the current team. So what's your thoughts on that? Oh, yeah. He's got a good one. Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones back on this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one. All right. So we roundabout got four.
Four.
I mean, we hit the triple up. That's the triple up I thought we were going to hit. I forgot. You talk about uniforms and people being in uniforms that don't look right. Griffey in the White Sox uniform did not look right.
Bo in an Angels jersey didn't look right. Frank Thomas in an A's jersey didn't look right.
That one didn't look right either. All right. So let's move over to Tim's teams. Now, if you follow us, Tim's a Colts fan, a Bucks fan, Brewers fan, and I forgot he was a Penguins fan. So I already wasted my Penguins over in the NHL. So, all right. So you start.
I know who I'm not going to worry about that pick.
Yeah. We're not going 5. I did double up twice on yours, so
I did too. So I have this feeling that we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, Dave Winfield honestly, Dave Winfield in a Twins jersey kind of looked weird to me.
It looked really weird. Well, that and the other one that looked really weird to me was Dave Parker in a Brewers jersey.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you? And well, what was it? And when we had Don Baylor on our bench as our hitting coach, and no, the one that looked really weird was Rod Carew in a Brewers jersey because he was our hitting coach.
Oh,
and that looked really weird.
I will go.
I'm saying 4 people. I'm doubled up twice.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I'll go 4. I can see 5. I can see 5 people. So
I can. If you can see 5, I can see 6.
Yeah, and Dave that too. So all right, you kick it off at number 5.
Yeah, this is we brought this guy up. I kind of brought up the rule. I wouldn't have put him. I would have put him on one of your teams if he had played a game in a jersey, but he didn't. He was a draft day trade because a nice little Starbury there getting traded out of Milwaukee for this guy. lucky enough to have seen him play. Another guy, much like Reggie Miller.
It's Sosa in a Baltimore jersey wasn't.
No. The weird thing is Sosa. It's not Sosa in a Baltimore jersey. It's because when you realize that I have seen Sosa in a Rangers jersey, looks even weirder.
Yeah,
He was drafted by the Rangers.
I thought it was drafted by the White Sox.
No, he was drafted by the Rangers and got traded to the White Sox.
Gotcha. Okay, you're number 5.
But to put my 3-point guy, so in a roundabout way, I put a Celtic on this. In a roundabout way, I put a Celtic on this list. But to see Dame Lillard, Ray Allen, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, plus Chris Middleton and Robin Lopez. I'm sorry, that's scary. But yeah, my number 5 is Ray Allen.
Yeah, that would be something. My number 5, we're going to the gridiron. I'm going to put this behind, again, in his prime. You put him on the Colts. I think you're looking at with this current layout of this team. AR doesn't have to do much running. I'm going to put Eric Dickerson on the Colts team.
Oh, could you see that?
Yeah.
Is Taylor still on the team?
I mean, it's current team, so yeah. I mean, you got a dual threat back there. I mean, and then you got AR that can run. You know,
I thought it Eric Dickerson. Well, we're not getting 6.
All right, you're number 4.
All right, I know it's a little biased, and I'm always looking at my team and what could possibly go right and what we need. I've seen these guys play a couple games, 3 games, I believe. Speaking of a guy that I didn't want to see in another jersey is Paul Molitor in a Blue Jays jersey or a Twins jersey, but I had to see that. But my number 4, my 4A and 4B is Robin Yount and Paul Molitor back on the Brewers.
Okay. Well, let me get to our little page here. Because the phrase that pays, ironically, the double up. I got Paul Molitor and Robbie Yount both on the Brewers. I mean, yes, it was nice to see Molitor in the Twins jersey, but yeah, with that team now that you guys have, you know, and especially those guys that can put the ball anywhere, you know, especially Molitor, yeah, that'd be deadly over there. So.
Oh, believe me, I want him in our prime. I want him so badly in the prime.
Oh yeah, exactly. So you're number 3.
Can I get what's his name back too in his prime too? The kid that we left with Corbin Burns too.
Yeah.
Golly, CC. Yeah, that one. That was weird looking and it was scary. And we was. Well, the thing is, he didn't. It was a half season rental, but the thing is, we were pitching him on every 3 days, so we were getting full season. We were getting a full season.
That's right. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I brought up Ray Allen at number 5, and everybody we're talking about prime players back on their team. If I get my number 3 on the list, I don't have Brooks Lopez anymore. And I'm kind of okay with that.
Robert Tractor Trailer, here he comes.
Oh God, no! That's the whole Dirk Nowitzki bull crap thing again. I still can't. To that day, that trade makes me sick. Almost about as sick as this one involving this guy too. How I always make the fact is when I realized that what made me sick was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being a Laker. Kind of made me sick. Kind of when I realized that, then I realized it's not really Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that was on the Lakers. So technically I have to reword my number 3. I would like to have Lou Alcindor back on the Bucks.
So is this going to count that the phrase that pays? Because I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the Bucks. I think just just the way the game changed, I would like, you talk about not much banging down low. I mean, what could Kareem do down there if he wasn't getting beat all the time?
Exactly.
So, all right, you're number 2.
My number 2. You brought up Eric Dickerson. Well, I'm going to bring up my last double up on this in my group here. We're always so worried about AR. AR's got to learn how to. If anything, we need Ricky Henderson to come in and teach Anthony Richardson how to slide.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. But you give us our line. You give us our line with the sheriff and basically his deputy. Oh, we're scary. We're a scary team. You put my number 2B. I like to call him the deputy because he was doing things for the sheriff. You put him.
He did get shot.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want to see one of the worst hits I've ever seen in an NFL game is the Jets versus the Colts, and Peyton Manning takes a shot underneath the mask with the crown of the helmet. He had to have his jaw wired shut. Ooh. That's the greatest thing is when Peyton Manning has to be quiet. But yeah, my number 2 is both Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison.
All right. Well, let's keep it going. The phrase that pays the double up, Harrison, Manning. I mean, with the young receivers they got now, you don't even have to have Dickerson back there. Now you can have Taylor back there, and yeah, I'd like to see what that team could do. So
yeah, you got look at the receivers that you let Pierce go. I know you would love to see Pierce become a superstar. Yeah. Because of financial reasons, but you put Pittman, Harrison, and Adonai Mitchell and Josh Downs. Oh Lord, we're talking about the days of Reggie Wayne and Brandon Stokely and Marvin Harrison all over again.
All right, you're number 1.
My number 1, since this is the only time I have Penguins on my team, I thought this was kind of obvious.
Ooh, Glenn Robinson, yeah, that would be a good one.
He was good, and the sad thing is, think about it. We had the Bucks had the top 2 picks in 2 or 3 consecutive years, where we take Glenn Robinson, and then we took Vin Baker, and then we had Ray Allen in that group at 4. And it's like, and yet we still found only one way to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals once. Yeah. It's kind of sick. Then we get Glenn Robbins. We get Nick Van Exel, not Nick Van Exel, Sam Cassell, that guy who looked like an alien. Nick Van Exel. Okay, well now J-Max he's just not, because my number 1 was Mario Lemieux back on the Penguins.
Yeah, no, that'd be a good one. Lemieux, Yager, Kit, yeah. So my number 1, I'm going to make somebody's dad pretty happy looking down at us. Back with, oh no, he didn't play for the Brewers. No,
yes, he did.
He did?
Hank Aaron played for the Brewers.
Okay, all right.
Hank, if you would have said,
I just had the Braves coming across. I'm like, oh, I just screwed this up. But yes, Hank Aaron on the Brew Crew. I know your dad wasn't happy, but I know your dad would be happy to see him playing.
Yeah.
But Hank Aaron on the Brew Crew, I think, would be, big time.
Yeah, he played like 3. I actually have a Milwaukee Brewers, Hank Aaron Milwaukee Brewers card. I think it was from 76, I want to say.
So we ended up with 5.
5.
So, all right. So we go to my teams, and again, if you guys follow me, you guys know I'm Minnesota.
I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't do any hockey.
I didn't either.
I almost really thought about.
I'll tell you right now, I will take the Dallas Stars and bring them back and put them in Minnesota.
I almost brought in Mike Modano, but I'm thinking no, that might not work.
Yeah, no, I didn't do any wild in the hockey. I will probably shock everybody on one of my selections. But with that being said, I think we're going to get 3.
Yeah, the top three. I think the top three are three should be easy.
All right. So I get to start.
What we do.
All right. At number 5, with the offensive weapons we got now, I put Adrian Peterson back there because that's one thing the Vikings are missing is a solid running game. So give me AP with this current team.
I thought you were going to say Darren Nelson.
Yeah. No, that would be if we're going to wave for flag.
You'd be really if you want. I was thinking, I could have been the jackass and said, yeah, prime Herschel Walker. Yeah, the USFL day.
Honestly, a prime Herschel Walker would have been just fine too, but you know,
you got to get the USFL. The thing is, you had to get the USFL Herschel Walker.
Yeah, exactly. So you're number 5.
Well, let's see. No, they were all weren't they all at the team at one point in time? Maybe not Robert.
They were.
Were they all together?
I mean, you put Cunningham in his prime with Carter, Moss. You know, you got Jefferson, you got Addison. You know, even Robert Smith. I mean, Robert Smith, if he didn't get hurt, you were talking Russian leaders, and Randall, that is sick. So, all right, you're number 5.
I can never remember if you've only had this guy on your team for like a year and a half, but this guy's it's really weird. But he wins a World Series with the Twins, and he wins a World Series with the Tigers.
We've only had him on there for a year.
Yeah, and probably pitched the Twins' greatest World Series game in history.
I don't think anybody can argue that one.
And you put this guy on back on this team in his prime. I think Jack Morris looks like a stud.
Oh my God. Yeah. A prime Jack Morris with the team now. I mean, yeah, we still need some pitching, but 1 out of every 5 games, you're giving me a W 90% of the time. So
great. At least you'll be better than the White Sox.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Here's my shocker here. At number 4, my greatest favorite player of all time. I'm putting Puckett back on the team. I'm putting him on for his leadership. I don't think his skill set would change. You know, I mean, with Buxton, Puckett out there, you know, you got a good team out there. But I just think the Twins' leadership that he can provide.
You can DH the guy.
Well, yeah, you could DH the guy. I mean, but I just think his leadership is a big thing that the Twins would benefit from him being on the roster.
It's not that much. I'm gonna break your heart, but it ain't that much of a shocker.
Well, I figured some people thought I would have had him higher. So
the higher part, yeah, I could, yeah.
Well, no, him being on my list, no, but you know, so. All right.
I think so. Did J-Mac read some of our scripts just out of curiosity?
Yeah, maybe. You're number 4.
All right. You know, you talk about your John 3:16. No, I'm just joking. I put him back on another team, but you put with Karl Anthony Towns, but you put my number 4 in his prime. Back again, we're talking about prime.
Nope.
And I think you guys would give the Celtics a bigger run than the Mavericks did. You put prime Derrick Rose back on the Timberwolves.
Oh,
I think it looks awesome.
Wow, you're going prime Derrick Rose on the wow. That's a curveball there. That is a curveball there. I got you on that one. That's a good one. But actually, J-Mac kind of nailed it, though. My number 3, you give me a prime Garnett in the middle there with Cat, with Gobert, Ant, you know, and then even with the bench of Nas. I mean, those are some big guys in the middle there. And we're talking about, you know, Garnett played when it was rough. You know, what can Garnett do when it's not rough, you know? So, yeah, I got Garnett at number 3. You're number 3.
It's weird that you haven't hit any of mine yet. That's kind of weird. Well, J-Mac kind of hit weird on mine now.
Yeah.
He kind of sniped me a little bit there with the first name he brought up on that list.
Nope.
Yeah, I think you put prime Randy Moss opposite Justin Jefferson, and you let Jordan Addison basically play slot, run the middle. I don't care what quarterback you could put throw there. You could put a limp-armed Isaiah in the backfield, and he would look like Brock Purdy at this point, because all three of those guys are wide receivers who can make up for teams' mistakes. It's crazy. Yeah, my number 3 is Randy Moss.
Minnesota's dream team: Rose, Brandon Roy, Garnett, Sprewell, Anthony. No, I gotta take Brandon Roy out of there. I gotta put Anthony there. Sprewell's okay. His ego,
his ego almost killed PJ Carlesimo.
Yeah,
Not
a bad team. Not a bad team.
Not a bad guy. It's just the fact is he's a little too high in his own hype. I think if you're going to put anybody else in there, you put in Love.
Yeah, Love or Starberry.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 2. We talk about having Moss and on these, but I mean with the receivers they got now, you talk about a quarterback that doesn't need to throw long, but could. You give me Fran Tarkenton. Fran Tarkenton on this current Minnesota Vikings team. So
as soon as you brought up Fran Tarkenton, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, give me Warren Moon. Give me
Warren Moon. Oh, Warren Moon in his prime and could run. I mean, that's just like Cunningham. You give me a prime Cunningham on the Vikings team? Yeah. Heck, Brett Favre in his prime could run.
The non-Vicodin Brett Favre. Yeah. That was
all right. Your number 2.
My number 2. I still don't think you've brought. Have you brought? Yeah, you just brought Kevin Garnett up, didn't you?
Yep, that was my number 3.
That was your number 3. Well, guess what? That's my number 2.
All right. Well, I actually thought you were gonna get him at number 3 when you started talking, but yeah, so we need to play. We need to pay it off here. The phrase that pays. Make sure our sponsorships are getting paid here. So with that being said, my number 1. You talk Viking football. You brought him up at number 3. Randy Moss, Chris Carter. I mean, you put them with Addison. I mean, honestly, you could have gave me Randy Moss in the slot was dynamic. I mean, who could no linebacker could cover him.
You got Josh.
So all 3 of those guys, you could play the slot just bouncing around. So
bring in Anthony Carter. You bring in Anthony Carter, Chris Carter. You could have brought.
Oh, Anthony Carter, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, forgot about that. So, all right, your number 1.
Well, my number 1 should be pretty obvious at this point. It's the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. Trademarked. Copyrighted. Patent pending. My number 1 is your number 4, Kirby Puckett. It was the first when you brought it up. I thought this was the first one that was on the list. Automatic first.
And the thing is I just don't. I don't know if Puckett would benefit stat wise, but I think his leadership. He probably would, but I think what they really need is his leadership. I think that's
the other thing about Puckett was he wasn't a stat guy. He was a team first type of player, and if he got his, he got his. If he didn't, he didn't.
Yep. I mean, 91, I think Chili Davis said it best that Puckett was on deck. He's like, well, I'm just going to hit this, over here, and I'm going to let you bring me home. And Chili Davis is like, no, dude, this is your team. You go out there, take your pitch, and drive it deep, and we know where it went. So
we'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday. We'll see you Game 7. So, got one more list here.
Here's the conversation piece that we had.
Yes, this is the big conversation piece. As you know, me and Tim are big wrestling fans, along with Dragon Viper and all those guys. So you can see me once in a while on Between the Ropes. So I forgot what website this was on, but I saw it on Facebook. So Legends of Wrestling. We'll shout out the Facebook page, Legends of Wrestling.
Okay. Then I've seen it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So 10 best factions of all time. Okay. If you guys watch wrestling, you know what factions are, a group of people, you know. So I got a big problem with some of these, but we'll go with their list and we'll debate it here shortly. So number 10, Undisputed Era.
Nope.
Number 9, the Freebirds.
Maybe.
Number 8, Nexus.
The Nexus are better apart than they are together because more of the names came out. But you can say that about other teams on this list too. But
the Hart Foundation. Now they're talking the Hart, Bret Hart, Anvil. They're also adding Smith, Brian Pillman, and Owen Hart in there. The New Day at number 6. Evolution at number 5. The NWO, and I think they're just talking the original 3 to 4 members at number 4.
Yeah.
DX at number 3. The Four Horsemen at number 2. And then the Shield at number 1. I'll tell you right now, the Shield was not a good faction, top 5, maybe at 5. But, I mean, NWO is 1A for me. I mean, what they did for wrestling, yes, they got bigger. So I mean, the original 4, I would good. The Four Horsemen, 1B. I mean, but I mean, the DX at number 3. But yeah, Nexus is definitely not on this list. No. Undisputed Era,
no.
Yeah, I think. They're still young enough. They didn't get much of a run on NXT. They were top dog, but they would have got to the main roster. Would have been nice to see what they do. To me, I'm a Freebirds fan. I think Freebirds should be in the top 5. Evolution, again, another top 10 for sure, but not in the top 5. Heart Foundation, no. I didn't like that whole grouping.
That's where there we go. There's the one where we disagree.
Yeah. Oh, you like the grouping?
I like the Heart Foundation. I thought the Heart Foundation was cool.
I mean, it was cool and all. I mean, it worked, but I don't know. I think if the Heart Foundation, we don't really get Owen over like we did. I think I know we get Davey Boy with the British Bulldogs, but we lose out on Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I think Neidhart. Well, yeah, Neidhart needed that. I mean, Neidhart
I think so did Pillman. Technically, in the WWF, I think Pillman needed to be the Heart.
Heart I don't know. To me, I can put him in the top 10. I mean, New Day, yes, they're a good trio team.
You think about it. 2 of those guys were already established when they came in.
Yeah. So I think I dropped them probably at number 10 or 9. The Wyatt, the original Wyatt family.
The original Wyatt family
should be up there.
Right. I think we're missing the Nation of Domination up there.
Nation of Domination was what I was thinking of.
And the one that I don't understand this, and it keeps bothering me that this group gets overlooked every time we look at wrestling. And to think another one, it's the Dangerous Alliance in WCW, how that keeps getting overlooked, because that was where we got our first taste of stunning Steve Austin. We lose out.
Another one too that I know, wasn't really faction. They really didn't do much matches together, come out together. But the Heenan family,
don't say schism.
No, the Heenan family, I think it's overlooked. I mean, I know they weren't considered a faction; they barely came out together.
Right. What about Kevin Sullivan's group there? The Dungeon of
Doom. Yeah, that was pretty good.
The heating stuff gets little credit. You get Money Inc. that gets almost next to no credit.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this list when I saw it definitely was a big talker. Shield.
Varsity Club.
I mean, Shield, yeah, top 5. I mean, not number 1. I mean, you could tell it was a new guy, a younger guy doing it because,
There's no Varsity Club.
Yeah.
Because back in the old, but that was what old AWA days. That was what that was. That was
the Steiners.
That was the Steiners. That was Ted DiBiase.
No, it wasn't Ted DiBiase.
No, that wasn't DiBiase.
It was IRS.
It was Steiners and it was IRS. Yeah.
And it was there's a fourth one, wasn't there?
I think so.
Yeah. Wasn't that what it was? Okay.
Now you got to go look up the Varsity Club.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it was Mike. I know it was Mike Rotunda. I knew it was the Steiners. There's one person.
It was Sullivan. So the members of the stable, it was only one of the Steiners. So it was Kevin Sullivan, Mike Rotunda, Rick Steiner, Steve Williams,
Dave Williams, Dr. Death.
Yeah, Dr. Death.
Holy,
which is the original, Varsity Club.
That was the NWA days too.
NWA, yep.
Dan Spivey.
Yep.
Dan Spivey. No wonder. That makes a lot more sense now that you think about it. Think about it. Mike Rotunda was in the same group with Spivey. And have you ever heard? Did you ever heard some of the places where Bray Wyatt got some of his inspiration from? It was from Waylon. It was when Spivey was doing his Waylon Mercy.
Okay.
Because that Spivey's character was Waylon Mercy, and he took a lot of that stuff because Spivey based Waylon Mercy off of
De Niro, okay, that guy. I know
and Cape Fear.
Yeah.
And it's creepy. Have you watched the Bray Wyatt documentary? Because it kind of brings it up in there.
Yeah, I got to rewatch it. I was kind of doing other things, and
but Varsity Club gets overlooked, and it's some of that stuff. But yeah, the original Four Horsemen too, not this iteration with Lex Luger and Sting event later on, or Brian Pillman or Dan. Don't get me wrong, I like Dan, I like Steve McMichael, but it just seemed completely off. Even Benoit being in there, Kurt Hennig, but
no, I definitely that was a big talker there. So with that being said, guys, Tim, final thoughts.
Good thing we don't gamble on this because we would have lost a ton of money and thanks.
Well, won a ton of money. I mean,
I've won a ton of money, because we were betting. Some of the stuff that I hit were long shots. I didn't think I was going to hit. Thanks everybody for watching. Brandon will tell you what shows we got on, and hopefully, I'm gonna put out a plea. Hopefully, if Callan sees this, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, Callan. That was my fault. I'm going to make a plea to one Isaiah. Isaiah, we want you back for kicking it.
Wow! History in the making here. Breaking news.
If
we
need
got a
be,
fan that wants Isaiah back.
if need be, I will set my alarm for an hour earlier instead of for the show being done by the time I wake up at my 6 o'clock. I will wake up at 5 o'clock and I will find my way onto the show. So I can be a part of the show. So I plea, I beg, my wife wants you to be back on the show because she loves you. At this point, you're probably your only number one fan wants you to be back on the show.
All right. So kicking it out Thursdays. Hopefully Isaiah's back because we all miss his movie reviews. We got C2C Late Night with Callan and Big Game James. Sports Minute. We got On Deck. We got Between the Ropes, so we got some stuff coming up. Callan's working on some street hockey stuff. We kind of brainstormed an idea last week that I'm still kind of thinking about how we're doing. So With that being said, we'll see y'all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one. And bring Isaiah back.